Okay. Banshee. I've always wondered why people don't use Banshee more in missions. This is just a regular exterminate mission. Me and my boy were trying to get Spira blades? Well, he needs to get the blades. I'm just here just to assist. But back to this though. Why isn't Banshee being used more in missions? Banshee, as far as with damage, is one of the strongest Warframes as far as dealing damage, like damage multiplier, damage to the enemies in this game. She's up there. Now you must be like, what the hell are you talking about, Kachi? Banshee, she's so weak, she can't deal any damage. Look at her skill set. Look at her kit and what she brings to the table. And I've been wanting to do this video for so long, only because I got a whole bunch of shit doing and whatnot. But you have to look at her kit and understand what she brings to the table, because not a lot of people understand that with Banshee you could go so far as long as she has a decent team that provides good protection, because again, she's still squishy, but as long as she has a solid team and you make her do what she does, you want to talk about going far. I'm not talking about just straight hour and change. You could go legit hella far in a survival, in a defense, interception, quote unquote interception. You could do legit 30, 34, 38 rounds, even farther than that, depending on how long you want to go and stay in there. Banshee is good at what she does. Using sonar with resonance, damage multiplier goes through the roof, along with having, in my case, a whole lot of power strength. To have that blind rage, have that power strength up there, you could do hella amounts of damage. She is probably the one and only frame where you could see ridiculous numbers that you should not be able to see in the game. I'm talking in the millions. I'm talking 2, 3, 4 million damage depending on where you hit them, as far as with the weak spot. I remember doing ODS. It wasn't that long ago. Me and Richie, we did an ODS. It was so easy, man. We were both competing because we both had Banshees and we were both stacking on our sonars. It gotten so bad that we were hitting 15k, 20k. At the time I had 25, not even 25, not 15, 10. I'm talking about 25 million damage, because you could stack your sonar just by doing this. You could stack that shit, and we were hitting such weird numbers. See, there goes that blade. We were hitting such crazy numbers in the millions. It was unbelievable. That's how crazy it got in that ODS. And as you all know, when it comes to Infested, they don't scale that fast. It takes them a while to scale. But even while they were scaling, it didn't even matter, because while we were stacking our sonars, and since he had resonance on too along with me, it was like, bro, me with that Atarax, all I was doing was just slide and hit. Even if I shoot him in a weak spot, it was like 10 million, 15 million. It was like, okay, you know, who's next? I don't understand why people don't use her all that much. Maybe it's because she is so squishy, she goes down so fast. She doesn't provide a whole bunch of support as some people like to think, but really she provides a lot of support. She sacrifices her survivability to buff teammates. Now, tell me which Warframe does that, as far as sacrificing your own, I won't say your own well-being. I'm not gonna put it like that, but sacrifice your survivability, because it's like, you know, you're gonna die. Okay, But in order to make up for that, I'm going to buffer you all the way to the point where you will kill and kill and kill to the point that you will get tired of killing. But in this game, for the way people like to kill things, they like that. So why not have a Banshee on your team? As far as with a defense, you have resonating Quake build, or if you could still rock that resonance, man, have a Frost with a Banshee. You could still have an Ash in there if you want to. Loki, Banshee, Ash, and a Frost. You could go 100 with that on wave 100 on defense. Loki, disarm. Ash, kill. Frost, he kills. Banshee, if they start crowding the pod, fine. I could just put the Soundquake down and let the boom drop, let the beat drop, I should say, and just stun lock everybody. She has so much utility in this game, it's unbelievable. But at the same time, people undervalue her so much when really she is so much stronger than people give her credit for. And I don't understand the reason as to why people don't use Banshee the way that you're supposed to be using her. Within the past week, though, within the past week since Banshee Prime been out, I changed my build as far as with Banshee, going with a crap ton of power strength, because again, once you have sonar out, it has such high duration that once you cast it, you don't really need to cast it again because enemies are going to be within range of you. So it's like, okay, let this go by, use it. When the duration is up, use it again. Or if you want to combine the sonar with the silence, fine. And with her huge energy pool, she could get away with it. And as far as with the focus school, it's like, alright, use Xeneric so you can keep your energy topped off. Or as I'm using with my Syandana, I just have Arcane Energize. You can just use that. Keep getting energy once you pick up energy orbs from the ground. Banshee is so versatile in this game with her kit. I'm gonna pop that right there. And even though she's so squishy, like I said, it's like she's so hella strong, it's not even funny. She's the only frame, like I said, that you will see crazy ass numbers that you really ain't supposed to be seeing in this game. That's why at the time, I think it was like a year and a half ago, a friend of mine was still playing this game, and he hit like a ridiculous number on Banshee. And this was at the time where I was still trying to build my Banshee at the time, but he had her built so great that the damage output was just enormous that it crashed his game because he saw 3 million. And the game couldn't handle that. That's technically what Banshee does. There's a lot of frames that could crash the game like that, but seeing those kind of numbers on a consistent basis, not even Mirage, not even an Ash, nobody could dish out that kind of damage than Banshee. No one. And since you got Resonance going for you, it's like, come on, man. It's legit game over. As long as she stays upright, dealing this kind of damage, it's game over. You're not gonna see any kind of numbers like this from any frame other than Banshee. You're just not. So, to conclude as to why people don't use Banshee in certain missions, or why isn't she being used more often, to be honest with you, I think it's just because she's squishy, having an armor of 15, but I think, I think they buffed her armor up to 65, so it's like, it's minor, but it's still not much, because again, she can still drop like a brick. But at the end of the day, as fast as she could drop, she could deal tons of damage to enemies. It doesn't matter how strong or how end game goes as far as with these enemies, as far as with scaling, because resonance, power strength, you have a great melee weapon as far as dealing that nasty crit. Along with that status, you got the setup to go as far as you want. It's up to you. That's all it is. But there's not a lot of Banshee players though, and to be honest with you, there's not a lot of people that know how to use Banshee correctly. Wow. I can't believe that dude left and the systems dropped just like that. But back to this though. That's my take as to why isn't Banshee used more in missions, is because she is squishy. She drops so fast. But even with that downside, she has like the greatest upside as far as with dealing damage buff. I mean, I don't even think some of y'all even know the damage output that I was just doing to those level of enemies, and that was just like what, a Neo. So I'm just gonna go to my setup right here so far as what I was rocking in that, because like I said, I changed my build. So I'm just gonna wait for this to load, because I changed it up and it serves me well. As you can see, I got a max blind rage with a transient in there with that resonance. Prime flow, fleeting, vitality, streamline. You must be like, where's quick thinking? I could just put that on there. Again, I could have this here, or I could put this on. I'll still be able to be surviving. The only thing about it is that Banshee should not be taking that much damage anyway, because again, she still drops like a rock. But you see that power strength being at 254. This is what I'm talking about as far as with her kit. Look at that sonar crit multiplier. That's 12.7. Right? Now, if I go straight legit power strength, I'm talking, where is it? Intensify, take that bitch off, and put this in there, 299. Tell me what frame could deal that type of crit multiplier. If you round off that 14.95, technically that's 15. Now you tell me what frame will deal a whole crap ton of crit multiplier than that. That's what Banshee brings to the table. That's what she brings. If you just put aside her squishiness and just factor in what she can deal, if she stands upright, it's like, bruh, it's like it ain't no contest. It is no contest at the end of the day. So Banshee has a place in this game. People don't give her the credit that she is well due, only because she is so squishy. But as far as with damage multiplier, hitting a weak spot, even before resonance, just hit the weak spot, and you will see numbers that you ain't supposed to be seeing in this game. And I'm not even exaggerating as far as you seeing 1 million, 2 million, 10 million damage. You can even look up other videos and you'll see people hitting weird numbers. Even she using the dread. It's like, it's not even fair. But you know what? From the way the enemies scale in this game, as far as with the Grenadier, heavy gunners, corrupted bombards, the Eximus, all of them dudes that like to stack their armor, I mean, it's hella fair. And you will need all kinds of power strength you can get. So as far as with dealing that type of damage, oh yeah, it's worth it. Especially with these enemies, because they show no mercy. And you know what? Whip out a Banshee, you'll go hella far. Have the right team, you go hella far. So I would like to see a lot of more Banshee players out there. There was another one when I was on a defense, and this, I believe it was on IO Jupiter. He saw me with a Banshee, and I saw him with a Banshee. He messaged me saying, thank God, a Banshee player. At least someone knows the potential of this Warframe. It's not about knowing the potential. It's knowing that her damage output, the damage that she could deal, just by using sonar, seeing the enemies, and practically go to work on them. Have a build on Banshee that not only gives her some form of survivability, just give her some form, like have a quick thinking in there, or you could put vitality on it. It really doesn't matter, but I like to use the whole quick thinking method only because if that 300 does go down, then it's like, alright, quick thinking will kick in and my energy will save me. And as long as I'm moving, get away from that phase where you somewhat stagger, you will be fine. And even when you're about to get that hit, just hit that silence. Go boom on them right there. It will stun lock them, which will give you more than enough wiggle room to get the fuck out of there. So at least you have some form of survivability, if not more, with quick thinking, because you have 2 chances to survive. Technically 2 chances to survive before you go down. So you see them, boom, stun lock them just like that, boom, kill them. That's it. That's all you gotta do. It don't matter if it's Lith, Meso, Neo, or Axie, or if you go into a survival, long duration survival. Banshee is needed all over the place. She could even do spy just by using the whole silence cheese. So Banshee is like an all-around kind of frame that sacrifices her own survivability to buff everyone else, including herself. And having a Banshee on your team is really a blessing, not a curse. So that's my take as far as with Banshee, but I would like to see more Banshee players running around, but I believe that's technically the reason why there's not much Banshee players running around. It's because she's squishy. So that's just my take on it. So I'm just waiting for this guy to get to extraction, man, so I can see what I got in this, because RNG has been hella good to me. And it continues being good. Continues being good. There goes that systems. So this is me, King Kachi, man, and I'm out.